Hi everybody, I'm Jessica Nicole Dickerson aka JND and welcome back to another video. So today's video is going to be chill. I'm going to be finally answering your questions that you asked. I asked on Twitter a very long time ago if you had any questions for me to do a quick Q&A. I haven't done a really big life update or anything after all my move-in vlogs, so we're going to be getting into that. But firstly, I want to tell you about a really cool way that you could possibly win money with your stories, your writing projects, whether it is NaNoWriMo or past projects. If you want to skip this little part, I'll put a timestamp here, but you could possibly win $1,000, so listen up. The link down below is to the Taps Reads writing contest. They have 4 cash prizes, one of the top being $1,000 that you could possibly win, and all they're looking is for engaging, fast-paced stories that are written in English. So that's the only caveat, is English writing. So look down below for the official rules. The deadline is December 16th. So as you guys are all writing NaNoWriMo projects and things like that, please consider entering to win. I really love this because they're also looking for possible authors to partner with for long-term writing contracts. Money. That's like the dream, is to be able to do what you love and get paid for it, so that way you can pay your bills. So I'm really excited to be working with them. Please check out the link below or share it to your writing friends, because I know this book community, if you're not a writer, you may know a writer or someone who is striving to be a writer. So please share it with them and check out the official rules down below, links below. I'm so excited for you guys, and I hope one of you guys win, or many of you guys, or a couple of you guys win. That would be so exciting. So please let me know if you're interested down below. Also comment that. But yeah, back into the questions. Just gonna go to the questions on my phone. I took pictures of them. So the first question, and I know a question a lot of people have been asking since the move, is like, how's the move? How's living in LA? What's LA like? So if you don't know, I previously was attending university in Los Angeles as a theater student, and because of everything that happened in the world, I got sent back home to Hawaii and was kind of stuck there from March to September, which wasn't a bad thing. I valued the time that I got with my parents. It's very, very precious to me, but it did cause a severe it caused a lot of panic coming back to LA because it's so different, and obviously now I'm on my own. I'm working constantly, or working freelance, constantly trying to meet ends meet and whatnot, and it's just a little scarier, you know, with the pandemic happening and stuff. I initially was very upset because it's very, very different. So it's like moving away from home twice. When I first went to college, moving away, I was very upset and sad, and then this same time around it was the same, but there is hope. I feel so much better and more confident in myself now that it's been 2 months, and now I really appreciate my space and having my own room. It's just looking on the positives and keeping out the idea that yes, you moved away from your family, the people you love, but at the same time, that time you spent with them still means a lot, still holds value, still cherish it. So you don't lose anything technically, you gain new experiences to grow, and looking at that, I feel much better. And then looking at when it comes to the world, I'm trying to find remote work, a full-time remote job, but that's not the case, especially not for like theater and communication right now. It's very low, and I don't want to work in an office because I don't feel like it is safe as someone who is immunely compromised. Literally just came out of the hospital last week due to getting a virus, not COVID, but getting a virus, and having DKA, a diabetic ketoacidosis. So just not feeling healthy enough to be in contact with lots of people all the time, if you know what I mean. So there was a lot of that happening when I first moved. I was very scared, but I think it's been really good to communicate my needs, communicate that I am immunely compromised. I always pull that flag card when people try and social interactions. I'm like, I can't, I'm like very scared, and like this is a very real threat. So that's just open with communication, and also limiting just going out. I'm literally home all the time, and it's okay because I'm a homebody, but I also think it's good for people who aren't homebodies to learn to reflect and just be alone sometimes. It's been very helpful. During college and high school, I was always doing, and now it's nice to just do what I want and do things and work towards my goals and feel very fulfilled by that instead of being fulfilled by spending time with others, even though that does fulfill me. But it's also really cool to be fulfilled by just doing the small things that I do and not needing and feeling pressured into going out. So I highly recommend it for everyone to have that shift of mindset or work towards it, because obviously it's going to be harder for other people, you know, than say homebodies like me, who is an introvert. Even though I'm a very excitable introvert, I am definitely an introvert. I love my alone time, and it has taken me a very, very long time to learn that, because I was always trying to please people and whatnot, and it's like, you know what, I'm just gonna do me and have a good time. So that's how the move's going. It's really honestly going much better than it did in the beginning, and I only think it's going to get better, which is exciting. I also recommend, if you're moving to LA, firstly, you need to save at least 3 months worth of rent and expenses, at least, moving in. I, luckily enough, saved more than that, but you really should, because finding a job is hard right now. I highly recommend that. I also recommend, if you're moving in with people, make sure it's people you know and trust, especially during this time. You really have to trust the people you live with to be responsible and be socially distant. So yeah, those are my tips. Please be safe out there if you're moving, and let's move on to the next question. So Caitlin asks, what type of music do you like to listen to if you were to write? Oh, there's 3 questions. Okay, what kind of music do I listen to? I literally listen to just soundtracks on repeat. I'm such a bad person when it comes to that. Like, I'll listen to 60 Musical on repeat all the time, The Greatest Showman soundtrack all the time. Lately I've been listening to Isabella Merced's new EP album, which I'm just like, it's so good. It's like 5 songs long. You should definitely check it out. It's definitely a bop, so you should check her out. So underrated. The next question Caitlin asks is, if you were to write a book, what genre do you think it would be? The thing is, I don't know if I'm ever going to write a full-length novel. I have horrible like sense and structure. Like, I'm just not good, I think, at writing a very narrative voice like a book. I've taken playwriting classes and screenwriting classes, so I think if anything, I'm gonna write a movie and plays. I've written plays before, and I'm writing a screenplay right now. I'm gonna have a vlog up later on, so make sure you subscribe so you don't miss that, about me writing my first full-length feature screenplay, which is so exciting. I have so many ideas for movies. I don't know if it's just the actress in me that I just have, like, I think of things in film. I would want to write a book eventually. It would probably be urban fantasy or YA contemporary. Those are my 2 genres that I love, but I just don't really have the skill right now, so it's definitely not happening anytime soon. If I eventually become a good writer, it may happen. I don't know. Right now it's not looking likely. Okay, oh my god, and do you read many webtoons? Guys, it's so funny because literally one of my most popular videos, I talk about webtoons in it, and people in the comments were like recommending tons of webtoons. I do read webtoons, not as much as I used to, just because I feel like a lot of the stories I was reading are really long, like hundreds of episodes long, or at least 100+ episodes long, and I slowly lose interest or forget what happened in the earlier episodes, because if you're uploading once a week and there's 100 episodes, I've been reading for 2 years and I forget what's happening, what's the plot point. So if I had to recommend one webtoon, it would be Purple Hibiscus. I'll put a picture up. It's so good, and I think it's new enough and fresh enough and exciting enough that each episode is very, very captivating. It's just moved on to season 2, weekly uploads. The premise is a loud, obnoxious car outside. The premise is that basically, I believe it's an urban fantasy. There's a police force. The girl works for the police force, but there was an inciting incident that happened in her youth where the prime minister of the land, or like the president, the mayor, some higher leadership people were murdered in a mass massacre. Lots of people died. So the city has been trying to recuperate, but the rebels are still at it. There's still crime, rampant crime, and she's trying to help and fix things, but the main character has the ability, the girl has the ability to tell when people lie. So that's why she's a great cop. She's super badass, and there's kind of a love interest with the guy who's a rebel. It's really, really, really well done webtoon, and the art style is beautiful. I love webtoons so much. I'm probably gonna make a whole video soon about all my favorite webtoons because I could go on and on about them. They're so good. What an underrated app in the US, I feel. Need a coffee break. This is a long video. I might have to do this in 2 parts. Oh my gosh. Now we move on to women of color reader. Love you, by the way. So what was it like growing up in a Cuban and African American household? It's hard to say because honestly, to me it's normal. Like, it was all normal growing up with my abuela taking care of like the kiddos when my parents were at work. It was just it was, for me, like, I can't see my childhood any other way or understand how other people like live in the same house for many years. Like, we rented, we were frequently moving because my parents valued the present time, being able to do vacations, spend our money, being in a good home. So we were constantly moving, constantly traveling. Like, I was able to go to Paris for my senior graduation gift, so I definitely am a middle-class family member. Like, that was my family, so I do come from a place of privilege. I really value and I'm so grateful for my upbringing. I grew up with Spanish in the household. I am bilingual, though my speaking of Spanish is very poor. I mean, people make fun of me all the time, but I do understand it, and that's really cool. I really wish I pushed myself to learn Spanish, but you know, teenage just didn't want to hear it. So I don't know, to me it's normal. It's no big deal, but it's super interesting reading and hearing about my friends who have different upbringings and what it's like. So, because like not growing up eating together, having large family dinners every night from like 7 to 9 where we're talking for hours because we're all chatty people and all very opinionated. So it's interesting. I don't know, I wouldn't want it any other way. Okay, and then Analia asked, do you go for book covers or summary when picking out books? I actually don't think I do either. I think I go based off of people's opinions, which is the funny thing about being on Booktube. You start to develop opinions about books based off of reviews you've seen. So I definitely base my opinion mostly on like book buying opinion, on who read it and what they think about it, because I have a few booktubers that I watch religiously that I have very similar taste to and definitely gravitate towards the books they recommend. So yeah, book cover is a bonus though, let's be honest. Having a sexy book cover definitely makes me want to buy you. Next question is, any place in Hawaii that you would recommend for one to visit? Oh, favorite dessert. One place to visit in Hawaii, oh, that's so hard. I would just spend all your time at the beach or hiking in the mountains, because I think that's the really cool part about Hawaii is that you kind of have it all, even though it seems limited because it's an island and it's smaller than, say, LA. You can't have pics of all the restaurants. But I would definitely go to the beach as much as humanly possible, because I truly feel like there's no other beaches on this planet like the ones in Hawaii. Neither the hiking trails, the greenery. Go for a drive. Like, I just think it's such a very relaxing, cathartic place to be in, because the pace is just so much slower. No one's rushing to do anything or go anywhere. You're just living, you're being present, you know, you're walking slow, you're dragging your feet, you're not caring about, you know, holding up people or being worried about, you know, your surroundings. You're just relaxed. So I recommend everyone to visit there and just enjoy life. I know I've had some people complain to me about when I said that Hawaii is paradise to me. They're like, no, it's not. Everything's so slow and out of date. And it's like, yeah, it's slow, out of date. Some things are run down a little bit. It's an island life. It's not prestigious. You shouldn't expect luxury. Like, if you're going to the Four Seasons, sure, you're gonna get a hot tub and the pool and the whatever. I recommend you get an Airbnb in like Kailua Town and just walk around and enjoy it. And Kailua Town is becoming more uppity in a sense. It's getting renovated. There's a Target there now, which is so crazy. Growing up, we had a Don Quixote, which is just like a basic store, and now there's like a huge Target. And it's nice to have those luxuries, but you should try eating locally, eating local foods and things like that, instead of going to name brand stores and whatnot. So that's my recommendation. And for favorite dessert, I can't pick one. Don't ask me to. Rude. Now we have another question. Favorite place to read? Do you have any reading quirks and unpopular bookish opinions? So favorite place to read honestly is right here. I don't know why, being surrounded by my books really motivates me, or my papasan chair, which I think you've seen in some vlogs. If you haven't, go watch a vlog, you'll see my papasan chair. It's definitely a favorite place to read, but I do get a little too comfortable in the papasan and I get a little sleepy. So I like this because maybe it's a little just slightly uncomfortable enough where it's like keeps me awake. It's so funny. Okay, and do I have any reading quirks? I don't think so, besides the fact that I will fall asleep reading a book very confidently, book in hand. I don't know if that's a quirk. And then unpopular bookish opinions. I think my only like kind of worst unpopular opinion is that I think that Angie Thomas, The Hate You Give, is overhyped because it is not the only diverse book you should be reading. There is so much more out there that you should be reading and consuming. I'm not saying you have to read it all, but I think you shouldn't just read one book and be like, I did it. It's like, no, you should continue to learn and grow as a person. That's, I guess, an unpopular opinion because everyone just says, like, I read The Hate You Give and we're good. That's just how I feel. We have a lot of questions. Let's see. Favorite book of all time. Right now in my life, favorite book of all time will be Piecing Me Together. I've talked about it forever. I have a live show about it. It's the reason why I started my Brown Girl Book Club. I love it so much. It meant so much to me in the point in time when I read it. I was in my second year of college at a private university, and Jade, our main character, is going to a private school, and she sees the privilege of the people around her. She's dealing with race issues. I feel like I grew up in a high school, a public high school that had so much diversity that it didn't matter. And then going to college where I became 2% or less, because being biracial, it's like weird. So it meant a lot to me at the moment to be felt so seen and felt like, yeah, a lot of people have different privileges, and how do I talk to my friend about race, yada yada. It's a great book. Favorite book of all time, for sure. That might change obviously as years go, but at the moment that's what it is. It means a lot to me, and I truly feel seen in that book, though I'm different than Jade in ways. Okay, next is a favorite acting role you've had. So I am an actor. I'm a theater graduate. I guess my favorite role would be the one, I guess, there's kind of two. I have one for film and one for theater. My film role, which is the only like high paying role I've ever had, was the one in Jurassic World. It was my first role ever. I was an extra and ended up being put in the front as like the cute girl. There's a little gif and whatnot with me and Nick Robinson. It was just a really fun day, and it was so cool and bizarre to be in that situation. I still have the Jurassic World bracelet that I got from set. But yeah, that's a favorite film role. I'm hoping to get more of those in the future. And then my favorite theater role was Pericles. I played a princess, Marina. I've always wanted to be a princess, probably because there's so many loud cars. I've always wanted to be a princess. I don't know why. It's just something in me that was like, yes, like I get a big floofy dress and I get to act all kind of pretentiously and like I know it all. It's a really fun character to step into. Okay, next one is favorite tea. It would have to be black tea. Any type of black tea is my favorite. I also like chai tea, which I know is slightly different than probably the tea you were expecting. Where do you want to be in 5 years, career or location? In 5 years, I still see myself in LA. I still see myself doing YouTube and vlog style recommendation discussion videos. And I hope to see myself working on set more. That's really it. That's the only addition I want in my life, is to be working as an actor on set regularly. So seeing myself in a sitcom or a rom-com in my near future. Let's see, how's school going? Graduated in May. Whoop whoop. And favorite self-care routine? Honestly, I don't have a routine. Everyone says doing your hair is self-care and whatnot, and like, but no. Doing a wash and go is so much work. I literally put it off so much, and I hate doing it. I don't enjoy the process. The only thing I enjoy is that I get to listen to several soundtracks of musicals, and that's enjoyable. Self-care for me, I think, would be more so picking up a book and like reading and like getting to be sucked into a story and not worry about my own daily issues, you know, the ones that are small but make you have an anxiety attack, you know. So I think my only self-care routine that I actually like is reading so far. I am going to pause here, and we're gonna have a part 2 of this because this is gonna be 5 billion years long, but I am saving part 2 for Patreons. Don't be mad at me. It's because they're awesome and they support me so much. So I'm gonna save part 2 for them. It's just a bunch of more quirky questions. Feel free to join if you want to support me more and want extra content. Wow, I can't speak. Don't forget to check the link below for Taps Reads writing contest for the chance to win $1,000. That's so crazy, right? For writing, for the thing you love doing, you should really enter. I'm really pushing you guys who love writing to enter. Please do. That is so exciting. But yeah, thank you so much for watching this video. I hope this was a good enough life update. I hope you're not concerned about me or anything, but I hope you're doing well during this crazy times, and I hope this video gave you a little bit more sunshine, and I will see you in the next. Bye.